I just wanted to say that this is just my personal opinion. It's not endorsed by anybody or any company. All right, let's try this. I get asked a lot, what company should I lease to, or what's the best company to lease to? I can't really, if you ask me, Mercer Transportation, because that's the company that I'm leased to, but Mercer matches my criteria for what I want out of a company. So you have to ask yourself a couple questions of, what do you want from your company? Where do you want to haul to? What kind of commodities do you want to haul? So that will determine, what company you want to go to. So a couple questions to ask. The big one is pay. How do you get paid? Do you get paid percentage pay? Or do you get paid a per mile rate, a constant per mile rate? So, excuse me. So if, me personally, you want to get paid percentage. If you're getting paid, a constant rate per mile, no matter where you go, what you do, you don't have the advantage of making more money. You can only make as many miles as you can drive. So first off, my opinion is find you a company, especially as owner operator, find you a company that pays percentage of the load. Okay, let's go to pay. Now, let's remember, the shipper only pays what the going rate is to move his product from A to B. The shipper doesn't care if you're a large carrier, he doesn't care if you're a broker, and he doesn't care if you're an owner operator. He pays what the going rate is to move his product from A to B. So and I'm going to use round numbers just to make it easy. So if, for example, and like I said, I'm going to talk about Mercer Transportation because that's the company I know, that's the company I'm leased to. But you can ask these same questions of another company. So Mercer Transportation takes 25% of the line haul. We get 100% of the fuel surcharge. So for every dollar of the line haul, I get 75%, Mercer gets 25%. So you have to ask yourself, and Mercer is providing a service to you, and that's what that 25% is for, is that 25% of the line haul, they're providing a service to you. They're arranging the load, they're getting a fuel advance, they're processing the paperwork, so that's one way to look at it. As instead of them taking the money, they're providing you a service. So whatever, when they take a percentage of the load, they're providing a service. So in return, what services are they providing for you? Now, like I said, I'm just going to talk about Mercer because I'm not leased to other companies and I don't know exactly how those other companies work. So Mercer Transportation takes 25% of the line haul. So from that, the services they provide for that 25% is we get they call them a coordinator. They don't call them dispatchers. A dispatcher tells you you're going to go here, you're going to go here, you're going to go here. Mercer provides a coordinator. In that coordinator, you tell that coordinator what you want to do. That coordinator puts the information in the computer, and that coordinator watches the computer and then notifies you, calls you and says, hey, you're matched to this load, you're matched to this load. Now, there are companies that don't have a dispatcher or a coordinator that they will send you an alert or an email. But in my opinion, you need somebody, you need a physical person telling you, letting you know what's going on, because you can't sit there while you're driving all day watching the phone, watching the laptop. So in my opinion, you need that person. So I think that's a great service that Mercer offers as a coordinator. Mercer also has an app to get paid, so they make it extremely easy to submit paperwork to get paid. We use our app. We take a picture in the truck with our phone, send it into Mercer. Usually if it's in there with it by 1 o'clock Eastern time, we'll get paid that night. So that's another question to ask the company you're leased to is, how often do I get paid? Do I get paid once a week? Do you have to have, you know, so many loads before they'll pay you? You know, Mercer, you know, if it works out, you get a check for $50, they give you a check for $50. So if you get paid, we get paid every day, which I think is great, because me personally, I like to deliver a load every day. So that means every day, every night, I have money going into the bank, which works out great for me. So that's a question to ask, is how do you get paid? Do you have to fax paperwork in? You know, is the only way they have? Do you have to overnight paperwork in? When I first started at Mercer, we used to use the I can't think of the little overnight packages, not FedEx, but something similar. I can't remember what now. Trip Pack, that's what it was, the Trip Pack. And you know, you sent your paperwork, so you had a day or so delay of when you got paid. So check with that company. How do you get paid? How do you have to submit your paperwork? If you have to scan it in, if you had to go in the truck stop and scan it in, to me that'd be a pain in the butt to have to go in the truck stop and scan it in. Do they offer in-cab scanning? Mercer, they do have in-cab scanning. You know, you can buy the equipment to scan your own paperwork in. Let's see what else is on my list. Fuel surcharge. Find out, does the company that you want to lease to, do you get 100% of the fuel surcharge? In my opinion, I think you should. You're the guy buying the fuel, so you should get 100% of fuel surcharge. Mercer, we get 100% of fuel surcharge. So that's one question to ask. And let's see, let's go to tire program. Mercer offers a tire program. We get tires on national account, pretty much any brand you want. We get on national account, which really is a good deal. Fuel discount, we get a huge fuel discount, which at the end of the year is great. Usually it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 cents off the posted price. So that helps out a lot. We talked about how to get paid. And then the other thing, there's thousands of companies to lease to. Find out what their freight lanes are. If you live in Florida but they never have freight going to Florida, that might not work. If you live in California and they don't have a very large presence in California, that might not work. Find out what their freight lanes are. Whatever company you want to. What kind of freight? If you want to just haul oversize, there's companies to lease to, that's all they do is oversize. Dry van. And so those are questions to ask. For you lease purchase guys, if you're leasing from a large carrier, what kind of, how do you compete with the company trucks? Where's your ranking? Do they treat you equally, or are you above a company truck? Are you below a company truck? So those are questions to ask. And like I said, I don't have any experience with that. Those are just ideas in my head, my opinion, that I would ask. The other thing Mercer offers, is first in, first out. And if you refuse a load at Mercer, you do not lose your position. And when I say you don't lose your position, is that if you start off in the morning and you're number 10, meaning there's 9 guys in front of you that got unloaded before you, that when a load comes out that matches their preferences and your preferences, they have the option of getting it first because they were there before you. But say by 1 o'clock, you haven't accepted a load, or nothing has come across that you want, you haven't lost your position. So if those 9 guys in front of you by 1 o'clock have already accepted a load, you're number 1. and you'll stay number one until you accept a load. So you know, make sure whatever company you're with is where, if you refuse a load, do you go back down to the bottom of the list, is what I'm trying to say. You know, so it takes that pressure off. Oh, well, I really don't want to, but if I don't, I'm going to go to the bottom of the list. Mercer, you know, you do exactly what you want to do. There's no pressure to do something you don't want to do. Let's see, we talked about the shipper, percentage of pay, freight lanes, tire program, fuel program, base plates. You know, what kind of incentives do they offer you for your registration? Mercer, they have longevity bonus, they have a safety bonus if you don't have any claims, you know, and that kind of chips away at your registration every year, which helps out a lot. So which is a good deal. So, you know, every company's a little different with that. Trailer program, do they take a percentage out to use their trailer? Do you get paid more if you have your own trailer? So, you know, those are questions to ask too. So let's see what else I could think of. Like I said, I can't recommend one company over the other. I like Mercer. I've been with Mercer 6 years. They're a great fit for me. They might not be the perfect fit for everybody. You just have to find the one company that has what you want, and you know, and work with them. So you know, it's really hard just to recommend one company. So anyway, I hope this is you know, helped out some people and get you thinking, and you know, questions to kind of ask yourself, ask companies. And anyway, if you have any questions, you know, shoot me a comment. I hope this helps out, and thanks for watching.